Hi. I need to call 000. There's a dark dragon attacking Katoomba.
Okay, ma'am. I need you to stay calm. Can you tell me what's happening?
Yeah, it's this huge dragon. It's breathing this void stuff. It's like a black mist, and it's swallowing everything.
Got it. So, the dragon is actively attacking right now?
Yes. It just blasted the old library. People are running everywhere.
All right. I need you to find a safe place to stay. Have you seen any injuries?
Not that I can see, but I'm worried. What if it comes for me next?
Stay inside. Keep your doors locked. We're dispatching the response team immediately.
Thank you. Please hurry.
We're on our way. Just keep your phone handy, okay?
Okay, I will. Please help us get out of Katoomba immediately. You have to deal with the dark dragon.
Don't waste a good night or good money on a bad pizza. Pizza Caper's gourmet pizzas are made with the freshest quality ingredients, so our pizzas not only look and taste amazing, they're
This is the emergency warning. The current threat level is emergency. At 10:30 a.m., a dark dragon has been sighted over Katoomba, releasing void breath, a highly dangerous and destructive force. The affected areas include the town centre and surrounding regions. The situation is critical. This is not a drill. This dark dragon is seemingly aggressive and dangerous, as it puts everyone to immediate death and destruction. The New South Wales Police and Emergency Services are on site and working to manage the situation. Specialised response units have been deployed to contain the dragon. Air patrols and ground teams are directing people to safety. Please follow all instructions from authorities. What you need to do is to seek shelter now. If you are indoors, stay inside and away from windows. If you are outside, move immediately to the nearest sturdy building. Avoid opening the doors. The dragon's void breath can cause widespread destruction. Do not remain in open areas or near bodies of water. Do not approach the dragon. Stay away from any areas where the dragon has been sighted. Stay informed. Monitor emergency updates via radio, TV, or official social media channels for further instructions. If you are in the Katoomba area and it is safe to evacuate, please proceed to one of the following emergency shelters. 1. Katoomba Sports and Aquatic Centre 8 Catalina Avenue 2. Katoomba High School 219 Great Western Highway 3. Blue Mountains Cultural Centre 30 Park Street. Emergency personnel are present at these locations to assist you. Do not delay. Your safety is our priority. Follow instructions and evacuate when directed. Stay tuned for further updates.
Good evening, I'm Drake, bringing you breaking news from Australia, where mythical elemental dragons have begun attacking Townsend National Parks in New South Wales. This unprecedented event has thrown the region into chaos, and military forces from both Australia and the United States are mobilising in response. In Kyogle, the mythical fire dragon has been reported to be wreaking havoc in this small, rural town. Local homes, forests, and farms are ablaze as residents flee. Emergency services are overwhelmed as firestorms rage through the area. In Jarvis Bay Village, the mythical water dragon is flooding the coastal town. Torrents of water from the dragon's powerful presence have submerged streets, homes, and even military installations nearby. Reports suggest that the sea level has risen dramatically, flooding the surrounding areas. In Kosciuszko National Park and Cabramatta, the mythical electric dragon has targeted these locations. Massive lightning storms have erupted, causing forest fires and widespread electrical outages. The town of Cabramatta, Australia's highest settlement, is especially vulnerable. In Taralga, the mythical winged dragon is assaulting this historic town with devastating cyclonic winds. Buildings are being torn apart, and trees uprooted as the dragon's gusts tear through the region, making rescue operations nearly impossible. In Katoomba, the dark dragon has been spotted over, shooting void breath, a terrifyingly destructive force. This void energy is annihilating buildings and infrastructure, spreading panic throughout the Blue Mountains region. In Orbost and Jindabyne, the mythical ice dragon has descended upon these two towns. Orbost, on the Victorian border, and Jindabyne in New South Wales, are experiencing plummeting temperatures, with ice storms freezing entire neighbourhoods. Citizens are trapped as roads are sealed by thick sheets of ice. Lastly, In Brindabella National Park, the mythical light dragon is attacking this park with blinding beams of light and energy. The surrounding flora and fauna are being obliterated as military forces struggle to comprehend the nature of this attack. The Australian Defence Force, ADF, is coordinating with local authorities to evacuate civilians, but the scale and ferocity of these attacks have pushed them to the brink. The United States military, under a bilateral defence treaty with Australia, has deployed forces and equipment to assist. Experts are baffled by the nature of these dragons, and military strategists are scrambling to devise a defence plan. Here's what we know so far. Fighter jets and bombers from the RAAF and the US Air Force are targeting the dragons with conventional weapons, though the dragons' elemental nature appears to make them highly resistant to standard munitions. Research teams are urgently studying ancient myths, magic, and any possible technological solutions to find vulnerabilities in the dragon's elemental powers. Specialist teams are consulting with cultural experts, hoping to uncover forgotten knowledge on how to combat these creatures. Unmanned drones are being used to monitor the dragons from a safe distance, but their erratic behavior and destructive forces are complicating reconnaissance. The United States is not the only nation involved. Discussions are underway for a broader international effort to contain the dragons before their attacks spread beyond New South Wales. NATO forces and neighbouring countries are on alert for potential dragon sightings. Authorities are urging residents in affected areas to evacuate immediately if they haven't already. Evacuation centres are being set up in safer towns and cities, and emergency services are prioritising the rescue of those trapped by the elemental devastation. The situation remains highly volatile, with scientists and military experts working around the clock to develop an effective response. For now, the message is clear. The dragons must be stopped before the destruction spreads further. The global community watches anxiously as Australia faces one of the most extraordinary crises in human history. Stay with us for live updates as we continue our coverage of this unprecedented event. I'm Drake, and this is CNN.
Foolish mortals of this frail world, hear me now. I am Wambeen, the ancient force of chaos, darkness, and destruction. For too long, this world has lived in ignorance of the power that lies beneath it, the power I wield and command. The earth trembles beneath my feet, the sky shrieks as I command the storm. You thought your lands were safe, your cities impenetrable. But now, I unleash upon you the greatest spectacle of destruction, a contest of pure elemental might. I have summoned the 8 elemental dragons, beasts of unimaginable fury, to the heart of your precious city. From the ice of the frozen void to the raging fire of the inferno, from the blinding light to the devouring darkness, from the tempest of the wind to the shattering power of the earth. And let us not forget the unyielding tides of water and the unforgiving wrath of lightning. These are my weapons, these are my champions. Why have I brought them here? For a battle royale, an arena of death and destruction, where only one dragon shall stand victorious. Your city shall be their battleground, your towers and streets their playground. They will tear through your homes, your monuments, and your people, crushing, burning, freezing, and obliterating all in their path. Let them fight to the last breath. Let the dragons devour each other in a bloodbath of primal chaos, as I watch from above. And when the final beast stands over the ashes of your fallen city, I shall rise with it, claiming dominion over the last elemental force standing. For in its victory, I, Wambeen, shall inherit its power and reshape this world into my vision of endless destruction. Mortals, you cannot escape this doom. City is the cage, and your lives are the fuel. Watch as the mighty forces of nature collide. Watch as your world burns, drowns, and crumbles beneath the claws of the ancient dragons. There will be no mercy, no savior, only the devastation I have promised. Let the carnage begin.
Normal programming has been suspended indefinitely. A statewide emergency is in progress which will convince you and your family to take action. Stand by for the emergency warning.
This is the emergency warning. The current threat level is emergency, meaning that an immediate threat to life and property exists and you must action now to ensure your safety. To all residents of the Sydney Metropolitan Area, this is an emergency alert concerning a concurrent battle royale occurring between the 8 elemental dragons across our city. These ancient beings, representing ice, water, fire, lightning, dark, light, earth, and wind, are engaged in a catastrophic conflict that poses a severe threat to all civilians and infrastructure in the area. Here are the current activities that the elemental dragons are doing harmfully to the metropolitan area. 1. Ice Dragon. The Ice Dragon is creating blizzards and freezing temperatures, immobilizing neighborhoods and causing hazardous conditions on the roads. 2. Water Dragon. The Water Dragon unleashes torrential floods, filling streets and overwhelming drainage systems, leading to life-threatening situations. 3. Fire Dragon. The Fire Dragon rages through the city, igniting structures and nullifying escape routes with flames and smoke. 4. Lightning Dragon. The Lightning Dragon is striking urban areas with powerful bolts, causing electrical outages and structural damages. 5. Dark Dragon. The Dark Dragon envelops areas in shadow, disorienting residents and causing panic in an already unstable environment. 6. Light Dragon. The Light Dragon shines intensely, blinding those in its vicinity and disrupting visibility across major thoroughfares. 7. Earth Dragon. The Earth Dragon is creating tremors and ruptures in the ground, damaging roads and facilitating landslides in vulnerable areas. 8. Wind Dragon. The Wind Dragon generates devastating winds, uprooting trees and dismantling infrastructure, including power lines and buildings. Please follow these instructions given by the Australian government. Stay indoors, seek shelter in a sturdy building as much as possible. Avoid windows and doors that could shatter. Prepare for evacuations. Gather essential items including food, water, medications, identification, and important documents. Monitor official communications. Keep radio or mobile alerts on for real time updates from local authorities. Identify safe zones. Head to designated emergency shelters announced by authorities as conditions deteriorate. Kindly go to the following evacuation centres as follows. 1. Sydney Town Hall at 483 George Street, Sydney. 2. Royal Botanic Garden as a designated safe area in Mrs Macquarie's Road. 3. Sydney Olympic Park. 4. Darling Harbour. 5. Central Station, where the evacuation point will be coordinated in response to the dangerous event from the military and local authorities. The Australian Defence Force has been mobilised to assist with evacuations and provide support in high-risk areas. NATO and American military forces are on standby, offering technical support and expertise in managing elemental disturbances and crisis response. Local police and emergency services are coordinating evacuations and ensuring a safe passage for residents while also directing traffic away from hazardous zones. Fire and rescue NSW teams are working tirelessly to contain fires and assist with water rescue operations where necessary. This is a final reminder. Your safety is the top priority. Remain vigilant, stay indoors, and follow the directives from local authorities to ensure your well-being during this extraordinary crisis. This message will repeat in 5 minutes.
Thank you for joining this special emergency broadcast. Our Australian Special Operations Command and our overall military, along with NATO and United States, have investigated what has happened between the elemental beasts happening in ultimately fallen Sydney Metropolitan Area and the rest of New South Wales. We have witnessed the horrors of our beloved state fallen due to destructive natural consequences caused by the elemental dragons fighting. We got a discovery from Canberra Parliament House yesterday on behalf of the International Science of Mythology
and the truth recorded by the New South Wales Police Department. The elemental dragons were initially the servants of the ancient Aboriginal Council of Wizards for millennia. They helped them in the battle against the evil god Wambeen. They ended the war by sealing Wambeen and his minions away in an unknown underground temple located in Mount Jagungal. As of this present day, the New South Wales Police Department had recorded the incident about an unknown terrorist group, known as Thundering Skulls, attacked a New Council of Wizards as a leverage in a distant temple a bit far from Wambeen's temple in the same mountain. The Wambeen has awoken from their respective slumbers, and he awakened and corrupted all of the 8 elemental dragons to begin their rampage on our nearby towns and national parks. To all terrorists of Thundering Skulls, please surrender now, or we will fire on you. To all American, Australian, and NATO militaries, please proceed to the unknown temple gate open to you in Mount Jagungal. Save the Council of Wizards, and destroy Wambeen's corrupted staff on the center of their lair. This would free the elemental dragons from their wrath, and restore peace and freedom to New South Wales. To all militaries dispatched in New South Wales, keep fighting. Don't give up.
In an extraordinary turn of events, peace has been restored to New South Wales following the cataclysmic Battle Royale of the elemental dragons. After days of terror and destruction, the combined forces of NATO, the Australian Defence Force, and the United States military successfully ended the reign of terror brought on by the dark Aboriginal God Wambeen. Military forces launched a daring assault on Wambeen's source of power, hidden deep within the Aboriginal Council of Wizards lair inside Mount Jagungal. In a coordinated strike, elite units destroyed Wambeen's dark staff, the artifact that had been used to control the dragons and wreak havoc across the Sydney Metropolitan Area. Upon its destruction, Wambeen was disintegrated into ashes, and his hold over the elemental dragons was shattered. Freed from Wambeen's influence, the surviving dragons, fire, ice, water, earth, and light, ceased their battle and began working to restore the region. These ancient beings, no longer agents of destruction, used their elemental powers to heal the land, extinguish fires, melt ice, and rebuild natural ecosystems ravaged by their own combat. Unfortunately, the dark, wind, and lightning dragons have died yesterday. In an awe-inspiring display of cooperation, the dragons assisted with clearing debris and restoring life to the Sydney Metropolitan Area, the Blue Mountains, and other impacted regions. The fire dragon helped clear smoldering ruins, the water dragon calmed flooded areas, the earth dragon stabilized collapsed buildings, while the ice and light dragons worked together to heal scorched and frozen landscapes. After completing their restoration, the dragons signaled their return to slumber, where they would rest until the world might need their powers again. Their departure marks the end of one of the most extraordinary events in modern history. The NSW Premier has issued an official statement saying the evacuation orders for Sydney and surrounding areas will be lifted gradually as recovery efforts continue. Key infrastructure is being rebuilt, and military engineers are assisting local authorities with restoring essential services such as power, water, and transportation. Phase 1. Inhabitants of outer Sydney suburbs and less affected areas will be allowed to return within the next 72 hours. Phase 2. For heavily damaged areas like downtown Sydney, Katoomba, and Tiralga, officials expect a full return of residents within the next 2 weeks as safety inspections and repairs are completed. Phase 3. Hard-hit regions such as Kosciuszko National Park and Cabramatta will require longer restoration efforts, and residents may not return for several months due to the extent of the damage. Residents are encouraged to stay updated through local channels for specific return instructions. This event, unprecedented in both its scale and nature, has left Australia shaken but resilient. The heroic actions of the military forces and the cooperation of the freed elemental dragons have shown that, even in the face of myth and chaos, humanity's strength and unity can prevail. As we move forward, The dragon's return to their ancient slumber serves as a reminder of the balance between nature and power. Australia, and the world, will not soon forget the battle of the elemental dragons. For continued coverage of the recovery efforts and information on when specific evacuation orders will be lifted, stay with us here at ABC. I'm Mr. Hickory. Thank you for watching.